Hello and welcome to what number are we on, Paul?
Number 18. We are number 18 of our Shanty sessions.
And you're tuning in on both Facebook or YouTube. No, I'm not. You say it's just one or the other. Well, I know that. Actually, Paul, I'm still setting something up, so I might just pop out and ask you to carry on. Is that all right?
Yeah, go on then. I'm going to say her big hello to Michelle Gallagher. She's tuning in from Yarmouth Town. Good evening, she says. Good evening to you, Michelle Gallagher. I'm just going to mention a few things that are important to us to get across to you during these lockdown sessions. And the reason is we'd be lost without certain aspects of this wonderful support system that we seem to have in place. So I'm going to say good evening and welcome to lockdown session number 18. This is from the Road Shanty Chorus, and we beg you, please click share. Click share to all of your friends and all of your families, much like I'm sure Linda Boyce is about to do. She's just clocked in and she says, hi, everyone. Hi, Linda. Now, we are hello from Stephen as well. We are a fishing choir that meets in Lowestoft. Now, that's the most easterly town in the UK, for those that don't know. And someone that hails from there or very near there is Janice Marjoram. She says, evening all from Pakefield. Oh, everybody's joining in now. Evening from Carol Fisher, from Sally Hardman, and from Chris Collins. Good to see you all tuning in, and I hope you'll all be singing along. But most importantly, I hope that you will all be popping some comments in the comment section, as you already have done, because that tells us exactly all that we need to know. It tells us 1, who's tuned in, 2, who's engaging, 3, who's enjoying or not enjoying, and 4, what we need to do next. So, wonderful hello to Marion Bouchert. She says greetings from a lovely sunny lunchtime on the west coast of Canada. Well, that does sound really, really pleasant. Wish we could join you there, but we this is as close as we can come. So hello to Marion as well. Now, we've got all of the usual things that you can expect, or hopefully that you would expect. As long as you're not expecting anything different, it should be fine. Including a special guest. Now, today, our special guest comes from all the way far southwest in Exmouth. He is Brian of Holcomb, and he's a shanty man. And when I say he's a shanty man, he is a shanty man. He is going to rock your socks. He's a fantastic singer, and he loves his shanties, and he knows a lot of the history. He's been singing shanties for some time. We're going to have a little chat with him a little bit later, around about 8:10, and he's going to sing us a shanty or two. And I've been in touch with him today, and he's on top form. So that's Brian of Holcomb. We'll be joined by later.
Yeah, what else have we got coming up? Well, same old rubbish that we normally have, but we've got our Suffolk word of the week, and we've also got a couple of kind of guest songs, one that we're going to bring in, and we have got the oldest sea shanty in the world.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Now, as Stephen said, our regular Suffolk word or phrase spot, how you heard it, boy, that's coming up. But we also have our other regular feature, which is a funny question, and we view it as a competition, but there's absolutely no way in which to win anything, so don't go to too much effort. But did you have a question in mind, Stephen, or shall I go for mine?
No, you go for yours.
Right,
well, I have got one. I've got a separate one ready, but that's from a commercial point of view. So you go ahead with yours.
Okay. Firstly, I'm just going to say hello to Henrietta Langfield, to Carly Franklin, to Cassian Marston-Kafska, and to Martha Knox-Forrester. Oh, and also to Barry and Jackie Draper. Hello to everybody, and thank you so much for joining us. Really is wonderful.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's launch our. Oh, and look, we've also got Maureen Meadows with us. She says, "Hello, everyone." Hello to Maureen. I'm going to launch our Suffolk word of the week, and we've got this wonderful book. It's a book called Suffolk Words and Phrases by Edward Moore. That's the high-tech version. This is the low-tech version. Wonderful book. And at random, once a week, we pick out a word or a phrase from that, and we ask you to have a guess what you think it might be. Now, even when this book was first published, which was 1823, Mr. Edward Moore says that a lot of the phrases were kind of, there was a fear that they would no longer kind of stay in circulation, in verbal circulation. And so, although we know that some of them have made it, We picked some of the lesser known ones, and this week we asked you to guess what this word might mean. Now, the way you say this word apparently is paital. Paital. And if you either live in a village or the countryside, or you've been about, I feel like you would have seen this word. You would have seen this word on some kind of signs. But do you know what it means? Do you know what it means? So the word is paital. Paital. Let us know what you think. You can have a little fun guess, should you like to, or you can have a proper guess. But let us know what you think. And look, we've got Pavel Soko. He says afternoon. Afternoon, Pavel.
Hello, Pavel. Nice to have you back. Haven't seen you for a while.
Thanks for tuning in.
So our question that we're going to ask you is a little bit political. As we know, very soon we'll all be needing to wear masks of some description to get our shopping at the supermarkets and elsewhere. So my question tonight is, what's the strangest mask you've ever had to wear? It could be...
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I know. And I don't think Stephen should answer this personally. But it could be a fancy dress mask, or it could be a mask that you had to wear for work. Keep them coming in. I'm sure lots of you have had to wear masks in the past. I know Sally particularly has been making lots and lots and lots of masks. So I'd love to hear what's the strangest mask you've had to wear. Now, Jackie Draper, she's come straight in with, how you heard it, boy. Her answer is Paital, name of a field. And she hasn't even put a question mark. So she sounds pretty sure.
No. Yeah, she does, doesn't she? Look, Carol Fisher's is it a sheaf of wheat or corn? Both
Similar.
good guesses. You're on the right track. You're on the right track. You're in the vicinity. You're warm. You're warm. Keep
Ben
guessing, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Well, hello to you, Ben. Lovely to see you join in.
Ben, hope you're well. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so what's the first song we should go for today? I think... do you know what? I think I'm going to go with a bit of a rambunctious one. Ooh, yeah, I'm going to go with... this is a bit of a cheeky one. It could be rude, but it's not, thankfully. It's called The Chandler's Wife. Now, it's not a sea shanty, obviously. When you hear it, you'll know why. But it's still related to the sea. For those that don't know, perhaps if you're not familiar with our language, Chandler is somebody that would sell equipment or paraphernalia to do with sailing.
Wasn't he in Friends, though?
Yes, he was. And that was his job.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess we could call this Monica, because Chandler's wife would be Monica. Anyway, it's called The Chandler's Wife, and there's a cheeky bit in it that in every verse, and who knows what the word is that they're saying, because what we do is we cover it up like this. 3 claps, 1 and 2, like that. And all we need to do is insert that over the bits. You should see on the lyrics, it's written as 3 X's. And again, we don't actually know what the word is, but we're going to put the clap in instead. Now, where you see the red marks either side of the line, Rosemary straight in there with the 3 claps. Thank you, Rosemary. Where you see the little red marks either side of the line, that means we're just going to repeat that line. So I'm going to start off. A man went into the chandler's shop, some candles for to buy. He looked around the chandler's shop, but no one did he spy. So he turned upon his heels and to the door he fled. When he heard the sound of a up above his head, when he heard the sound of a up above his head, well, he was slick and he was quick, and up the stairs he sped. And much to his surprise, he found the chandler's wife in bed. And with her was a fine young man of most incredible size. And they were having a right before his eyes. They were having a right before his eyes. When the fun was over and done, the lady raised her head. She was quite surprised to find him standing by the bed. If you will keep my secret, sir, if you would be so kind, I'll let you come up for some whenever you feel inclined. I'll let you come up for some whenever you feel inclined. So many a day and many a night when the chandler wasn't home, to get himself some candles to the chandler's shop he'd roam. But nary a one she gave to him, but gave to him instead a little bit more of the to light his way to bed. A little bit more of the to light his way to bed. So all you married men, take heed if ever you come to town. If you must leave your woman alone, be sure to tie her down. Or if you would be kind to her, just sit her on the floor. Give her so much of that, she doesn't need any more. Give her so much of that, she doesn't need any more. Now at this point, we must emphasize, we do not endorse the tying down of anybody. So please don't do that, and take the lyrics in good measure and in gentle heart, because that's how we sing them to you. Now we've had lots of comments coming in. One from Rosemary Boket. She says, "Is it a style?" And I think she means the word pital rather than what I'm wearing, because I don't have much style. Sally Hardman, she says, "Pital, is it a large bag of face masks?" Well, it could be the collective noun now that you've said that.
Yeah.
Martha says, "Good one, Sally." Now, Janice says, "That word, is it something to do with a strip of spare land where a pig could be kept?"
That's a good guess.
I like that.
Yeah.
Bruce Collins is stunned into silence.
Yeah, just nothing.
There's nothing. Rosemary Boket, is the word a barn or a hay barn? Oh, she's picking up with Carol's suggestion there.
Yeah, on a theme. It looks like you're kind of pushing towards a certain. Yeah. And Maureen Meadows says, "My mask has lighthouses, anchors, sailing ship's wheels, life belts, and starfish made by my daughter." Very maritime themed there, Maureen. Very good, lovely. So I like that song, Paul. I'm going to do one. This seems a bit more serious. This is actually a whaling song, and it's one that we've done before, but not for several weeks. So I thought I'd kind of bring us back to it. And generally, I'm just going to move this microphone a wee bit out. Generally, you find that whaling songs are rather bleak, or always in minor keys, which this one takes. This one has some minor chords anyway, but they describe generally the hardship and the dangers of the whalers' lives. But we kind of like the very optimistic tone of this song, as well as the fact that it's got a great sing-along quality. A song called "Rolling Down to Old Maui," or Mohi, as it was originally spelt by the English and pronounced as well. And we get our version from this book here, "Songs of the Sea" by Stan Hugel. Stan Hugel, the kind of the go-to shanty expert and the last living shanty man, authentically shantying aboard a ship. And he says this about the song: "The Hawaiian island of Maui, or Mohi, there you go, as it is written in the old manuals, was a popular headquarters and wintering port of the sperm and bowhead whalemen from the early days of the 19th century onward. The small port of Lahaina was in 1820 the capital of the Sandwich Islands, as the Hawaiian group was then named. Situated as it is, with the island of Lanai to the westward and that of Kahuale into the southward, the town has a magnificent bay and possesses a fine anchorage. During the year 1846, almost 400 sailing ships, mainly whalers, dropped anchor there." And then he talks a bit more. "After being away in the ICC, a period of hard work, ice, no booze, no girls, the whalemen would arrive back in Lahaina, all ready to tear the town apart. It didn't take long for sailors to desert here, and many set up grog shops, the focal point of the visiting whalemen." So, and he actually says the so-called ship girls, or native waheens, would swim out to the incoming whale fleet. And waheens, although they weren't overtly known as such, they were kind of considered to be ladies of pleasure, working girls. And I think we've actually removed that word. We've Bowdlerized it from our version. We will find out. I can't spot it. I can't remember it at the moment. But anyway, this is "Rolling Down to Old Maui." I'm going to bring the lyrics up. Yeah, talk amongst yourselves. Let's find the lyrics. There we are. Perfect. So this is "Rolling Down to Old Maui." It's a damn tough life, full of toil and strife, we whalemen undergo. And we don't give a damn when the gale is done, how hard the winds do blow. We're homeward bound from the Arctic Sound, with a good heart and free. and we don't give a damn when we drink our rum with the girls of old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail with a northerly gale through the ice and wind and rain. Them coconut fronds, them tropical lands, we soon shall see again. 6 hellish months we passed away on the cold Kamchatka Sea. But now we're bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. Once more we sail the northerly gale towards our island home. Our mainmast sprung, our whaling done, and we ain't got far to roam. Our stunsail booms is carried away, what care we for that sound? A living gale after us, thank God we're homeward bound. Rolling down to old Maui, boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic around, rolling down to old Maui. How soft the breeze through the island trees, now the ice is far astern. Them native maids, them tropical glades, is awaiting our return. Even now their big brown eyes look out, hoping some fine day to see our baggy sails afar the gales, running down to old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic round, rolling down to old Maui. We'll heave the land where old Diamond Head looms up on old Wahoo. Our masts and yards are sheathed with ice, and our decks are hid from view. The horrid ice of the sea caked isle that deck the Arctic Sea are miles behind in the frozen wind since we steered for old Maui. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic round, rolling down to old Maui. And now we're anchored in the bay with the Kanakas all around, with chants and soft aloha roos, they greet us homeward bound. And now ashore we'll have good fun, we'll paint them beaches red, awakening in the arms of an island maid with a big fat aching head. Rolling down to old Maui, me boys, rolling down to old Maui. We're homeward bound from the Arctic ground, rolling down to old Maui. Okay.
Nice.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Paul. Rolling down to old Maui. Wonderful, wonderful song. We love it. It's number 50, so it's a fairly recent one for the Rogue Shanty Chorus, at least within our repertoire. But we love it. Certainly, it belies the general feel of a whaling song, which is quite bleak and miserable, and looking at the kind of the difficult aspects of a trip or a voyage. And this one doesn't. It's got a great sing-along quality and rather jolly, I'd say.
Although it's made Pavel Sokol cry.
Oh, yeah. I often do that when I play guitar, Pavel. Must be said.
Pavel. Now, we've had some reactions, obviously, from Shell and from Marion Bouchette, from Sally Hardman. And Linda Boy says, this song is lovely. And Carly Franklin says, love this song. Makes me think when we all together singing it. Yep, me too, Carly, me too. Now, Rosemary says, one of my favorites, Pavel Soko. I know this song in Polish. I hear it first time in English. Well, it's the first time he's heard it in English. That sounds good. We've had some responses to Hey, Heard It, Boy, our Suffolk word or phrase. Maggie Clark, I've heard that Suffolk word before, but can't remember what it is. Well, the trick is in remembering, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who else? Ben Southern says, totally agree with you there, Sally. And that's in response to, I love this song. I think we sing it really well with all the different harmonies. Now, you're correct, Sally, because there's a lovely harmony that you and some of the ladies tackle. And also, some of the gents have come in with a lower harmony, and they've really added some texture to it. Chris Collins, is a pital a small enclosure or fenced in land? I've heard it before. We had something similar to that, didn't we, a few comments ago?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Okay. I'm going to just get a few more thanks out because I didn't earlier.
Okay.
Pardon?
Okay.
Thank you. So I'm going to say hello to all our regular choir members, all of our rogues who meet at the Seagull Theatre for our usual fortnightly sessions.
The rakish rogues.
A special hello to Barry. He suggested we show a picture of our wonderful chorus, and we're gonna, having forgotten to do that, I'm gonna arrange to put that up a little bit later as soon as I can. But also, hello to new members, anyone that's taken an interest since we started our lockdown broadcast on the 17th of March. But a special hello to anybody joining us for the first time tonight. This project is funded by the People's Health Trust, part of the Active Communities programs. Now, this enables us to have worked with people of all ages, from 2 years young to 90 years old. And also from experienced musicians to those just getting their teeth into their love of music, or specifically sea shanties. The broadcasts are led by the choir leaders. That will be Stephen and myself. And that's in a direct response to the social distancing measures were put in place to safeguard the UK public against COVID-19 all that time ago. These are our means of staying connected with our members and to continue to engage with new people during this time. So in order to help us to engage with people further, we would be absolutely cock-a-hoop if you could click the share button. If you could share us amongst your posts, amongst your feeds, your friends and family, and anybody that you know on Facebook or on YouTube, if you could click share, we'd be very grateful for that. And it would help us get our message of how great sea shanties are just a little bit further in this world.
And, there's something else I'd like to mention. A couple of things, really, actually. Paul and I, we run the Rogue Shanty Chorus along with Andy, who's not yet made an appearance in this stream. But we also have our own shanty group, the Rogue Shanty Boys, and you can see what we did there. Two very similar names, the Rogue Shanty Chorus and the Rogue Shanty Boys. And you know what? It's taken us 17 sessions before. We're not very good businessmen, but before somebody has said, "Hey, haven't the Shanty Boys got their own CD up on iTunes, their own album?" And do you know what we have? And it's an album called Above Board, and it's we're very proud of it. It came out beginning of last year, and there's a lot of songs on there, mostly traditional, and some of which pertain actually to Lowestoft, our collective hometown. So we're going to actually put the iTunes link in the comments and pin it to the top. If you would like to download a copy to support us, we would love you to do that. I think the album is about £7 or £8, and there's a lot of songs on there. But the other thing that we're trying to make happen is, since lockdown has kind of, the restrictions of it have slightly eased, we are hoping to put together a socially distanced concert with the Rogue Shanty Boys, and we would perform it online. And we've launched a question in the comments to say who would be happy to pay £5 to watch that happen. If you wouldn't want to, or that's not what you want to do, then please don't feel embarrassed. You don't have to respond. You don't have to type no, because that would embarrass us as well. But please do. If you would be interested, please type yes, or some kind of comment, not on your Nelly, whatever you like. But that's it. I think that's all the selling we do. But somebody did say, hang on a minute, you've done loads of these and you've never mentioned your own albums. Well, we haven't actually. So available is on iTunes and all the other platforms. Is Above Board, the album by our group, the Rogue Shanty Boys, and we're about to share that in the comments. Over to you, Paul.
Over to me. Well, just a reminder that we are joined nearly every week by at least one special guest, and this week, we will be joined by Brian of Holcomb. He's a shanty man from Holcomb, from Exmouth, and very, very effective he is at it too. He's got a booming voice and a great personality, and I know you're going to love him. And he's not much competition to us because he's the other end of the country. So he's very welcome to join us tonight. And we're really looking forward to it. That's Brian of Holcomb coming up later tonight. But first of all, before we go any further, I'd just like to remind you of our question, our kind of quiz competition, which is rubbish because you don't win anything. And I asked earlier in the episode, what's the strangest mask you've had to wear? Now, Maureen mentioned earlier about how lovely her mask is, and it was made for her by her daughter, I think, or her granddaughter. Janice has responded with this. Maureen, I imagine you now fixing a snorkel to it for an underwater swim. Well, yeah, so am I now that you mention it, Janice.
Yeah.
But I wonder if anybody else has responded to the mask question. I don't think anybody has. Oh, there we go, Michelle Gallagher. In response to the mask question, when I was 7 years old, I had to wear a frog mask, complete head, to play the Frog Prince in a ballet. Plus, a few years back, I played the front half of Daisy the Cow in Panto. Well, it's hard times, and you take the gigs where they come, don't you, Michelle?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, now carry on, Paul. Go on.
I was going to move on to a song.
You do that. Go on.
This one is called The Drunken Sailor, or What Shall We Do with Said Sailor? Now, it's often said that for a period of time in the Royal Navy, shanties were not permitted to be sung on board. Now, as we know, shanties are a form of work song, something to aid the tasks that were being carried out by the sailors, using the rhythm to keep them on track and keep them in a synchronized effort. And I guess that on board an HMS naval ship, you wouldn't have you would be expected to be able to do that without the shanty to keep you on track. So I've heard that there was one exception during this time, and that was the drunken sailor. The reason being because it mentioned all kinds of different punishments that could be meted out to a sailor for various reasons, but particularly if he were to be caught drunk at his station. So this is What Shall We Do with the Drunken Sailor? It's an arrangement specific to our beloved Rogues, and the lyrics will be coming up on your screen as well. So please don't hesitate to sing along with us. And it goes like this. What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Who hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises, hooray, and up she rises early in the morning. What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? What shall we do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning. And that's our arrangement of What Shall We Do with a Drunken Sailor?
Okay, I'm going to go to a few comments here, Paul. Let's try some. Oh, no, mostly people are just talking to each other. Yes.
I really do that.
Carly does say, oh, yes, another one I like the drunken sailor. That will be me on Saturday, the drunken bit, not the sailor, as it's my birthday Saturday. Well, Carly, happy birthday. Bless you. We've had a few people already comment about the boys. Rosemary says, would love to hear the boys sing as a group again. Carol Fisher says, yes, would like to hear the boys. Maureen says, not a chance, but I don't know. Is that in response to what the other two have said there, Maureen? I'm just teasing. I'm teasing. Look.
We've had a couple of comments. One being from Sandra Warner. Hi, everyone. I'm here at last. Just heard the last song. Love it. Like everyone else, can't wait to sing together again. Well, we certainly can't wait to sing with you as well, Sandra. Also, we've had a question from Linda Boyce. Now, I thought we were asking her questions, but we'll allow this one from Linda. How did you two get into sea shanties? And I presume she's asking Stephen and I the question, not anybody else that she's chatting to on the comment section. Well, it's a tricky one to explain and quite a long and lugubrious answer. But basically, Stephen and I have been singing for some time in a cappella forms. We really enjoy singing without instrumentation, as much as we enjoy singing with instrumentation. And Stephen discovered that our grandfather is from fishing family in the most easterly part of the most easterly town, Lowestoft, which is where Stephen and I hail from. And we were really interested in the heritage of that and the history behind the music of the fishing industry, and we explored it a little bit further, and we found that there were a lot of people with an appetite to do so as well. So we collated them all into one place, which is the Seagull Theatre, and we meet every other Tuesday, and when we can. But at the moment, we meet every Tuesday on Facebook and on YouTube. So hopefully that gives you a bit of a flavour of why and how.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to kind of tailor my end of the answer to that question later on, because it leads very neatly into one of the songs that I was planning to do this evening, but I can't remember the chords, and so I'm going to do another one while that's in my head, and hopefully I will have them later. I really like to do this song, and there's a kind of a resonance to part of the reason why we decided to research the associated heritage of the fishing industry, and in particular explore the folk music and sea shanties and maritime music that these wonderful communities created and used and sung. In the meantime, I'm going to do a song by the late great, and this is there's a few people listening from Canada and British Columbia, and this is for I'm going to dedicate this one to Marion Bichert, because Marion Bichert extremely generously posted us a copy of a wonderful folk book. I've got it under a pile of other books, otherwise I'd pull it out and show it to you. But Marion, we want to say thank you so much for doing that. It's Canadian, mostly Canadian music, with some wonderful information about the songs. And she also gave us not one but two CDs, knowing that we'd argue over one. So Marion, thank you very, very much. And so I'm going to dedicate this one to you if you like it. If you don't, please just ignore it. But this is The Merry Ellen Carter by Stan Rogers. And I've got a great Stan Rogers story for this, and it's from his brother Garnet. And he says, Stan wrote a million songs about the sea, but I tell you, he would get seasick crossing a wet lawn. And I thought that was a wonderful quote. Who knows if it's true? But anyway, this is The Merry Ellen Carter. And yeah, let's bring up the lyrics just so you can sing along if you want to. She went down last October in a pouring driving rain. The skipper, he'd been drinking, and the mate, he felt no pain. Too close to 3 Mile Rock, and she was dealt her mortal blow, and the Mary Ellen Carter settled low. There was just us 5 aboard her when she finally was awash. We'd worked like hell to save her, all heedless of the cost. And the groan she gave as she went down, it caused us to proclaim we'd make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Well, the owners wrote her off, not a nickel would be spent. She gave 20 years of service, then met her sorry end. But insurance paid the loss to us, they let her rest below. Then they laughed at us and said we had to go. But we talked of her all winter, some days around the clock. She's worth $250,000 floating at the dock. And with every jar that hit the bar, we swore we would remain. Make Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. All spring now we've been on her on a barge lent by a friend. 3 dives a day in hard hat suit and twice I've had the bends. Thank God it's only 60 feet and the currents here are slow. I'd never have the strength to go below. But we've patched her rents, we've stopped her vents, dug hatch and porthole down, put cables to her fore and aft and girded her around. Tomorrow noon we hit the air and then take up the strain. We'll make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. Rise again, rise again. Let her name not be lost to the knowledge of men. All those who loved her best and were with her till the end will make the Mary Ellen Carter rise again. For we couldn't leave her there, you see, to crumble into scale. She'd saved our lives so many times, living through the gale. And the laughing drunken rats who left her to a sorry grave, they won't be laughing then another day. And you, to whom adversity has dealt the final blow, with smiling bastards lying to you everywhere you go, turn to and put out all your strength of arm and heart and brain. Like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Rise again, rise again. Though your heart may be broken and life about to end, no matter what you lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Rise again, rise again. Though your heart may be broken and life about to end, no matter what you lost, be it a home, a love, a friend, then like the Mary Ellen Carter, rise again. Okay, Mary Ellen Carter by Stan Rogers. I'm just going to repeat that wonderful quote by his brother Garnet, who said Stan wrote a million songs about the sea, but he would get seasick crossing a wet lawn. Wonderful Stan story there. And yeah, anyway.
It was good. I liked it, mate. And so did a lot of people. But I'm going to mention a few other comments first. One from Pavel. He says, my daughter has one, I think he means a mask, with Paw Patrol and another one with a fire car on it. I didn't know Paw Patrol travelled so far. We have Paw Patrol in our country as well.
We do, yeah.
Now, Susan Korkmaz. Oh, wow, that's a really interesting name. Not sure how you say that. Korkmaz. She says, hi, Chris, and 2 rounds of applause. And what else do we have? High five from Kasia Marcinkovska. I still have somewhere my frog mask, carrying on the frog mask theme from a preschool play. And does wearing fake moustache made from a toy's hair also for a school play count as well? I think so. Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Maybe winning it, though. When I was about 8 in the Brownies, I wore an elephant mask with a long nose in a show of Nellie the Elephant.
We've all done that. We've all been there, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, this is our wonderful book, Suffolk Words and Phrases by Edward Moore, printed 1823. And on a weekly basis, we choose a word from that, which is usually a word that's peculiar to Suffolk or East Anglia. And Mr. Moore had a fear that these words and phrases would not last too long. Some of them have done, so I'm sure he'd be very pleased about that, but some of them haven't. This is one that I think a lot of people see around. It's a word called pitel. But we ask you, just for a laugh, because you don't win anything, so it's a rubbish competition, we ask you just for a laugh to have a guess at what you think it might mean. Now, I know that you can see this around and about if you travel rurally near me. But what does it mean? That's the key thing. We've had plenty of guesses so far, but let's know. Keep them coming, won't you?
And just before we go to our special esteemed guest this evening, which is Brian of Holcomb, Marion Bouchette, she says, Mary Ellen Carter equals Canadian anthem. Thank you for that, Stephen. I heard the Mary Ellen Carter first time at a big folk festival where they sang it as a tribute to Stan Rogers, who had died in a plane crash a few weeks earlier. The whole crowd was crying hard, singing along. Well, thank you very much. That's a lovely memory you've got there, Marion. Thank you for sharing it with us. Anyway, moving on to our special guest this evening. As promised, it is Brian of Holcomb. Here he is. Hello, Brian, sir.
Hello. Good evening, shipmates.
Hello, Brian.
Hi there. Hi, Stephen.
How are you doing, Brian?
I'm good, thank you. I'm good.
Thank you so much.
On board as well. Thanks for inviting me.
You're very welcome. Now, we first became aware of Brian on YouTube. I saw there were some fantastic videos being posted by a certain Brian of Holcomb, proper authentic shanties, and well, I was fascinated by them and thought they were fantastic and just the kind of stuff that our rogues would enjoy. I'm going to put a picture of Brian's YouTube page, which is Brian of Holcomb Shantyman, but you can find it if you type in, I just typed in, you can see in the search bar there, Sea Shanty Brian, and that came up. But find him in various guises. He's also on Facebook and under the name of Brian of Holcomb. But that's not all you do, is it, Brian? You do quite a few different things.
I do really. Sea shanting, singing the sea shanties is my main mission in life at the moment. It's funny how these things kind of come on us. We don't know where from sometimes. And my mission is to encourage people to sing shanties. And the second mission is to support the people like your good selves that are out there singing shanties or trying to get other people to join in. I think you guys are doing a great thing. Yeah, I've tried a few. I do the YouTube videos for everybody to try and get engaged with shanties, try and learn out what they are. Someone to sing with on your own in your house, looking at the video. So, yeah.
And how long would you say you've been singing sea shanties?
Well, it's coming up to about 3 years now. It'll be 3 years in November. It doesn't seem like that long sometimes, and other times it seems like 30 years. I'm quite new to the scene, really, but I've just absorbed it completely. I find the best way is to just jump straight in, as if you're jumping into the sea. It's always a great feeling, and everybody can swim. Throw somebody in the sea, and they'll have a good go at swimming.
Yeah, whether or not they like it. No, I totally understand it. These things can be all encompassing, can't they? And sometimes you just have to submit and let them sort of become a part of your lifestyle.
It's happened gradually. It was like a slow tide coming in at first. It wasn't a euphoric moment. And then my mind started turning to practically everything I saw or heard had some link or relationship with the sea. And that might sound a bit bizarre at first, but the deeper you go about these things, we're an island race. All our histories about seafaring, all the emigration of all over the world was done on ships. And what I found was each song that I became introduced to, the history that was involved in the lyrics, even though they were very simple lyrics and brilliant choruses, aren't they? Brilliant choruses, so easy to join in with. And then it's absorbed me a lot, but I still am able to merge that with normal activities that we all do in life as well.
Yeah, wonderful. Brian, if it's not putting you on the spot, would you give us a taste of the kind of sea shanty you love to sing?
Well, the ones that are my favourites really are the work shanties, the pulling and hauling shanties with a crowd going in. And also some of the four bitters I like. The four bitters are songs about the sea. They can get a bit dark and a bit slow. But I thought for your audience tonight, The Leaving of Liverpool.
Oh, wonderful.
People think it's an Irish song. It's of Liverpool. A lot of Irish people worked on the ships at the time. And I started with that one. It's saying goodbye, so it'll meet if I have to go after I've sung the song.
Not at all. I'm going to extract my screen so that we just see you. Is that okay?
Okay, yep, that's good. Right. Okay, Leaving of Liverpool. Fare thee well, the Prince's landing stage, River Mersey, fare thee well. I am bound for California, a place I know right well. So fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I have signed on a Yankee sailing ship, David Crockett is her name, and Burgess is the captain of her, and they say she's a floating shame. So fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. I have sailed with Burgess once before, and I think I knows him well. If a man is a sailor, he will get along. If not, then he's sure bound for hell. So fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Oh, the sun is in the harbour, love, and I wish I could remain, but it will be a long, long time before I see thee again. So fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. Hey, I'm back for California, by way of stormy Cape Horn, and I'll write to thee a letter, my love, when I is homeward bound. So fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee, up together now, and so fare thee well, my own true love, for when I return, united we will be. It's not the leaving of Liverpool that grieves me, but my darling, when I think of thee. There you go, guys.
Wonderful. Brian, that is fantastic. Wonderful.
That's a front room as well, that one.
Thank you so much. Now, we've had some comments already. One from Cindy Palfrey. Great, Brian, still singing well. I'm guessing. We've also had a comment from Martha Knox Forrester. As you said, Brian, what a great chorus.
Great,
Michelle
yeah.
Gallagher, we've had several rounds of applause for that. That really, I love the gusto, and it is a great song. We don't have, because we're on the East Coast, we miss some of the Liverpool like the packet songs and things like that. But they are they're so full of life, and they still retain that element of, you know, the self-deprecation that the sailors would give the boat or the captain. I love the line in that she's afloat in shame.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now I'm going to pick up a few comments as well, Brian. Michelle Gallagher says fantastic. Double clap. Cassia Master Cuffsker, she's in Poland. She says loved it. Carol Fisher here in our native East Anglia, 4 claps. And Chris Collins, not to be left out, she also gave 4 claps. So thank you very much. Wonderful.
Really nice. So Brian, you sing regularly on your own as Brian of Holcomb. Is that correct?
I do, but I prioritise with Exmouth Shanty Men.
Yeah.
I'm a member of that group, and there's 12 members in the group. They're international, got a great bunch of guys, and we specialise in authentic shanties. Pick a kind of time period from 1850 to about 1910. As you said, the packet ships, a lot of those songs in there. And when we perform in costume of that period.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a great laugh. What a lot of banter's brilliant, traveling's great, camaraderie's good, rehearsals are funny. But the main thing about what I really like about the sea shanties and the groups and the people like yourselves that do it, it builds your confidence, personal confidence. It takes concentration to do this properly. And that concentration takes you away from some of the stresses that you may have in your life, or the other things, or just a gap and a fresher breath of fresh air.
Yeah, so absolutely. Now, Brian, I think that we kind of passed like ships, pun intended, at the Harwich International Shanty Festival, maybe last year or the year before, with the
the brother shipmates were up there on the Good Ship Malarkey.
Exactly, yeah. I remember actually watching you guys when you performed in the Redoubt 4, and we were up above looking down, and yeah, fantastic, absolutely fantastic. And I think we actually took inspiration for a song or two that you had in your repertoire that we went off to research.
Fantastic. That's fantastic, and that's what it's about, really. That none of these songs don't belong to anybody at all. They're traditional ones. That's what we tend to pick on. And if we've got members of our crew that do write songs, and they write them with the intention for everybody to sing them, other shanty groups or not, we really don't mind. That it's a worldwide singing fest, and to make people smile.
Sorry, man. One comment comes from Derek Brooks. Well done, Brian, aka Billy Rollocks, and I think he's.
Thanks, Cowboy. Yeah, I've got that new video for you there, Derek. You check that one out, mate.
Another one from Brian Luscombe. He says, "Hello, Brian." Sorry, Mark Luscombe. Hello, Brian.
Well done. Good. He's a great guy, Mark. Yeah, great guy. I'll be seeing you, Mark, soon.
And so, Brian, I'd like to know, I mean, I guess we know the answer to this, but how has lockdown affected you and the Exmouth Shantymen? I presume you've had some cancelled dates and not been able to rehearse together and all that kind of thing.
Oh, basically, it was a wipeout. Right at the beginning, we had a crew member go down with COVID. He spent 11 days in hospital. The doctors more or less gave up on him. They said he got a 50-50 chance of coming through.
Wow.
And he pulled through, as strong as a town crier from Exmouth, and but goodness gracious, that was a shock to us all. So we backed off right then. We took it very, very seriously right from the beginning there. So we haven't seen each other, and the guys are very respectable chaps. You know, they won't be breaking the law or messing about with anything like that, and they wouldn't want anything to affect their reputation, and they certainly wouldn't want to put anybody at risk. So we've had a lockdown, and we're still under lockdown on that. We haven't even joined up for the kind of 6 groups yet. But it looks like it's opening up, and because of our authenticity, we're kind of work with with wooden string and rope and things like that. And so we're not really up on the tech. I was telling Paul earlier, I had my first real digital phone with pictures on in January, and that was only because I bought it off my daughter so that she could upgrade her own phone. And I've been challenged by people too. So I've tried to engage. It's a really steep learning curve. Yeah. So in that way, it's been a disaster. We lost all our gigs, international gigs. We got to Germany, we got to Poland, we got to France. We lost all that. But what has been good is that everybody has started to engage online in a digital format, and there's been a lot of networking going on behind the scenes. And I run a site, Shanty Men of Devon, that was set up specifically to network. It started off just as the Shanty Singers of Devon, because I'm in Devon and we're in Devon and my mates were. Then the Cornish, foreigners really to us, they wanted to join in and they were so good. And with all the people down in Falmouth, if you've never been to Falmouth Festival, Shanty Festival, definitely worth a trip. So we let them in, and then we started getting people from up north, and apparently there's people in the east of England as well that like shanties. And so and then it went abroad, and now we've got American. It's becoming international. So if you want to find out all about nautical aspects, not just songs, but history behind all of these things, then Shanty Men of Devon Facebook page is a good starting point. And I've tried to, everything I learn, I try to put into a video some way or other. So that's it. Thanks. And that's all free at the moment. And I say at the moment because these things do change. These things do change over time. Yeah, that's it. So I love shanties. I love to people singing shanties, communicating from my mates. The fact that Derek and Mark and Cindy are eyeballing this one, that's toughed me right up because I've not seen the folks. I've missed out. Yeah, missed them.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? It's not just people commenting, but it's people that you might normally kind of mix with or perform to or with, and suddenly they're commenting. Yeah, so it's a different world. Yeah, it's kind of taken up by storm as well.
Rosemary Balkett, she says passionate shanties, love it. And we've got a regular viewer called Hoy Boy. Not sure if you know Hoy Boy.
Oh yeah, I mean I've not met Hoy Boy yet. We've threatened to meet up, and we'll raise a roof when we two get together. I can tell you that now. I think I'm going to have to go up his way. It's up the southeast, that one, isn't it, Hoy Boy? Hoy Boy, how you doing? I'm following your stuff.
He says
love old Brian. I'm not so sure about the old Hoy Boy. Yeah. So Brian, I wonder if we could strong arm you into giving us a second song. Would that be possible?
You're sure. Well, I've thought about this one. I thought I'll give you a tune one. I love this song. Bound Down Trinidad. You better turn your mics down. Oh, tell me, Master Stevie Dore, and how'd you stow your cargo? Way, sing Sonny Dore. Say, tell me, Master Stevie Dore, and how'd you stow your cargo? Bound down Trinidad to look for Sonny Dore. So boots free my bully boys, hurting in the archway. Way, sing Sonny Dore. Say, birds free my bully boys, hurting in the archway. Bound down Trinidad to look for Sonny Dore. Oh Trinidad, you pretty little harbor. Way, sing Sonny Dore. Oh Trinidad, you pretty little harbor. Bound down Trinidad to look for Sonny Dore. And what will you do with Sonny Dore should you ever find her? Way, sing Sonny Dore. Well, roll her in the grass, my boys, and all amongst the clover. Down Trinidad to sing for Sonny Dore. And tell me, Master Barber, how'd you shave your customers? Way, sing Sonny Dore. I takes them by the noses and I scrape them neath the chinny-os. Bound down Trinidad to look for Sonny Dore. The ship is right, the crew is caught, the old man's in the clover. Way, sing Sonny Dore. So hoist 'em high and let 'em dry, come rock and roll me over. Bound down Trinidad to look for Sonny Dore. So tell me, Master Stevie Dore, how'd you stow your cargo? Way, sing Sonny Dore. Say, tell me, Master Stevie Dore, and how'd you stow your cargo? Bound down Trinidad to look for sunny door. Bound down Trinidad to look for sunny door. Bound down Trinidad to look for sunny door. Yeah. There you go, mate.
How brilliant. How absolutely brilliant. Do you know, I'd never come across that one, Brian. Fantastic.
It's a great song, that is. It really is. Yeah, in West Indies top song down there. Been around for a while. Kimber's Men sang that one. I heard them sing it a few years back when I started. The Old Gaffers, great crew. I love the Old Gaffers down from Kingsbridge, Newton Abbot area. They sing that one as well. And what I've done is I've done a slightly different twist on it. There's many different versions, but that's another great thing about shanties. You really can take a shanty and you can work with it as well. I think the important thing is, if you're doing a work song, is to find out when the pulls are in the right place. And Stan Hugel's books are for that. They'll tell you exactly when they're pulling. Because you just think about tug of war, you want everybody pulling at the same time. Shantyman used to get paid 3 times more than the other crew, because without them, they didn't have the power to pull these massive, great big, wet, Hessian, thick canvas sheets right up to 70 foot, up the tree trunk masts in the blowing gales. They just didn't have the power to do that. So they bring it together. Good.
Lovely. Now I'm going to bring a few comments in here. There's quite a few on this one. Carly Franklin, 3 claps sounds like a really catchy song. Hoy boy, 3 claps and an ice cream. Is that? I don't know, but some. Why not? Jade Lazarus, she's clapping for us, or for you. Maggie Clark clapping. Michelle Gallagher, great song. Derek Brooks, well sung. Billy, Chris Collins. There's a happy face, a prayer, and a clap. Jade Lazarus, I want to learn that one. So do we, Jade. And Marion Bouchert, who's over in British Columbia in Canada, she says 3 claps as well.
I'll come over and sing it to you over there, girl.
Well, do you know, actually, talking about going over to sing it, there's another comment from Kasia Marciankowska, and she tunes in regularly from Poland. And she says, wait, I'm bad at recognizing faces, but wasn't Brian with the Xmas Shantyman at the Shanties Festival in Krakow, Poland last year?
What a place. I'll tell you another place. There's a couple of places I recommend for singing. Ireland's a great place, but Poland, they knock me out over there. What a beautiful crowd. I go over there any day. 600 kilometers from the sea, and they know all the words. They know when to clap. They know when to shout. And my goodness gracious, they treated us really, really well. What a pleasure. What a pleasure. So thank you very much for that comment. Remind me of that. I'll sleep well tonight.
Exactly. Yeah. Wonderful. Good. Well, look, sorry, I just I
don't think there's much more to say other than thank you so much, Brian. You've been it's a wonderful pleasure to have someone really passionately involved in shanties and showing that in the way they deliver them.
Not everyone's cup of tea, but I'm glad you liked it. Thank you very much again.
No, we absolutely do. Thank you, Brian.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Take care.
Well, take care and keep well and safe, won't you? Thank you, mate. Well, that was Brian of Holcomb, and we've got his website details up, YouTube and Facebook, and he gave us a couple of fantastic shanties. You can watch again. You can also rewind. Don't rewind, because we're going to do some more songs. But if you didn't catch all of Brian's 2 songs and kind of being with us, please do watch again, because fantastic couple of songs, and also wonderful knowledge about shanties. Brian does a lot of work kind of keeping alive the associated heritage in schools and educational workshops, and really knows his stuff. So we were very, very pleased that he agreed to come on our little old stream. So yeah, thank you very much to Brian, and thank you very much to anyone who commented, appreciating everything that he brought along tonight. So yeah.
I know Alison Lucas certainly appreciated it. She says, hey, Billy Rolex is his name for the Xmas Shantymen. But she's just missed it, but she can catch up on catch up. Of course you can. It's available on YouTube. It's also available on Facebook, on our Facebook page. Billy Riddington says, bother, missed Brian. Oh, no, he says bugger. Okay.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. Well, listen, if you missed Brian or you didn't catch all of his slot, you can watch it again. This will be available to watch afterwards. Don't rewind now, will you? Just keep watching us for now. But we want to say a big thank you to Brian for catching us. And actually, that goes for all of our sessions. We've done 17 of these, and this is the 18th. We've also done 8 history sessions with author and historian Ivan Bunn. a Lowestoft living legend, particularly knowledgeable about all areas of Lowestoft and Suffolk and Waveney and beyond, in fact, and has written some serious books about local history to East Anglia that are considered kind of leaders, really. In particular, his book about a trial of witches, which is taken into most universities in the world as the kind of the preeminent account of the witch trials of Lowestoft and Bury St Edmunds and further afield as well. So if you're interested in the history of Suffolk or East Anglia, you can catch those again, or you can tune into Ivan every Monday at 7:30, as is scrolling just now on both Facebook and YouTube, 7:30 p.m, or watch again the previous 8 streams from him.
Stephen, I'd like to sing a new one. We've featured it a little bit before. It's called Sally Brown, and it's not that famous ska and two-tone song that the specials covered. But it is.
Was it Bad Manners?
Don't know.
Yeah, I'm going to say yeah. Anyway, they're going to hit you with a cuckoo maca stick if you get it wrong.
Oh yeah, they did.
They did.
But I'm not singing that one at all.
No.
I'm going to sing for you Sally Brown, the famous sea shanty. It's new to our repertoire, and some of you may not even have it in your folders, but I'm sure most of you know it well. We'll be singing it as soon as we can get back together. It's very easy to join in, so please sing along. The lyrics are on your screen now. Oh, Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way we roll and go, and we roll all night, and we roll all day, and we spend our money on Sally Brown. Oh, Sally Brown, she's a little cracker. Way roll and go. Well, she drinks dark rum and she chews tobacco. Way roll and go, and we roll all night and we roll all day. We spend our money on Sally Brown. Well, her father likes a tarry sailor. Way we roll and go, and we roll all night and we roll all day, and we spend our money on Sally Brown. Well, Sally Brown, she likes a good scrumpy. Way we roll and go, she likes a bit of rumpy bumpy. Way we roll and go, and we roll all night and we roll all day, and we spend our money on Sally Brown. Oh, Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way we roll and go. Yes, Sally Brown, she's a nice young lady. Way we roll and go, and we roll all night and we roll all day. We spend our money on Sally Brown. And we roll all night and we roll all day. We spend our money on Sally Brown. We spend our money on Sally Brown. We spend our money on Sally Brown.
So that was Sally Brown, Paul's version of, and one of the newest ones to our repertoire. It's not the newest because we've got a new one this evening, which I'm going to do before the end. But let's see what comments we've had. So we've got one message here. Sorry, a comment here from. Now I've lost it. No, I've lost it, so I'm not going to say it. But Brian has said, really enjoy that. Look forward to meeting you all at the Shanty festivals and shouts. Brian, you too. Would love to see you again, and we'll say hello if we do. Billy Riddington says, I was making jambalaya. There's no excuse, Billy. Then Peter Purnell says, Billy Riddington, you're so exotic. Isn't he just, eh? Then he says, love Sally Brown. The Libertines did a good version on a bootleg. Think Pete Doherty might have been singing about a different type of Sally Brown there. Yeah, maybe. And then Jade and Maggie Clark showing their appreciation there.
Thank you very much. What have you got for us, Steve?
Well, do you know, I'm going to come back to the comment from, can you remember who it was that asked why, was it Linda Boyce? She asked why we're into shanties and how we got into shanties. Well, so Paul kind of alluded to this, and this sort of leads nicely into a cover song I was going to do. This is actually a fairly contemporary folk song. Maybe it's 15 or 20 years old, but Paul and I, we thought that our family moved to Lowestoft from London a couple of generations before before we were born, and so did most of the rest of our family, really. So we obviously didn't talk too much, but we actually did some research, and we traced our family to a small little. They used to call it a village, the Beach Village in Lowestoft, and it's a kind of a community that was centered around the hugely popular fishing industry of Lowestoft. At one point, there were up to 2,500 houses there. 2,500 people living there. And as Lowestoft was granted the status of port town, which meant that it was allowed to accept and fish for more, which happened 5 years before the rail lines were opened up to Reedham. Not particularly busy place or cosmopolitan, but Reedham then went on to Norwich, which went on to Birmingham, Manchester and London. And so it really meant that Lowestoft men could bring in a lot more fish and they could send it out. And Samuel Morton Peto quite famously said in 1842, after the rail lines were opened up, he said that the Lowestoft fresh fish can actually be within Manchester by the evening or by the afternoon for afternoon tea. And really, with this explosion of the fishing industry, sons and kind of grandfathers were brought back into the industry, and they're kind of known as the halcyon days. And I think it's very easy to hark back to those times and think, well, Lowestoft was a big deal, really, nationally for its fishing fleet, and it's easy to get down on the fact that it doesn't now have that. At the moment, I think there are 3 trawlers fishing on a part-time basis out of Lowestoft. But the Beach Village was actually a rather crowded place, and as many kind of industries that used to be these golden industries, there's a song that I really admire by a wonderful artist called Martin Joseph, and he wrote a song called Please Sir. He's a Welsh folk musician, singer-songwriter, and he wrote this song about the mining industry and the fact that it was kind of left, and a lot of the men were left and treated quite badly and not looked after, and just kind of they didn't know what to do when they were put out. And although this was about Wales, complete extreme opposite end of the UK to where we are, I feel like there's a resonance in the fishing industry for us. And so I'm going to do this song, lovely song called Please Sir. If you haven't come across Martin Joseph, check out his version. It's a way better version than mine is going to be. She was always a very pretty lady. He had always caught her eye. They were married in a mining valley and swore they'd be together till the day they died. 20 years later, with a call all gone and the golden lamp in his hand, stands at the bar with a pint and his friends. They all agree together that they don't understand. Meanwhile, little David takes his books after school and learns of the times gone past. When it comes to questions, he puts up his hand, something that he just wants to ask. Please, sir, can you give me an answer? Please, sir, you know it doesn't seem fair. Last night as I walked through the door, I thought I saw my father cry and sat in his chair. She stood there with her arms around him and she said she promised him a better day. But after 20 years of working underground, it's not just your job that they take away. Sometimes he'd walk to the edge of his world, stare at the valley below. Thought about leaving, maybe running away, knew there was nowhere to go. Please, sir, can you give me an answer? Please, sir, you know I just can't see. Please, sir, when you make these decisions, do you have a vision of what happens to me? Please, sir, can you give me an answer? Please, sir, you know I just can't say. Please, sir, when you make these decisions, do you have a vision of what happens to me? Life goes on in a mining valley, but the young man leaves for a better wage. And every day as he coughs and he splutters, he knows that love is the reason he stays. He knows that love is the reason he stays. Meanwhile, little David takes his books off to school and learns of the times gone past. When it comes to questions, he puts up his hand, something that he just wants to ask. Please, sir, can you give me an answer? Please, sir, you know it doesn't seem fair. Last night as I walked through the door, I thought I saw my daddy crying, sat in his chair. Please, sir, can you give me an answer? Please, sir, you know I just can't see. Please, sir, when you make these decisions, do you have a vision of what happens to me? Do you have a vision of what happens to me? Please take a look now. Take a look and see. So a wonderful musician called Martin Joseph wrote that song called Please Sir about the mining community in Wales. And there's maybe a resonance coming across to the fishing industry over here, and possibly that's why we kind of research and sing these songs.
Yeah, and a great song it was too. Thanks, Stephen. Maureen Meadows says, very catchy tune. Alison Lucas, love a bit of family history. Carly Franklin says, oh, that's lovely, Stephen. Michelle Gallagher says, lovely song, 3 rounds of applause. And also Jackie Draper, beautifully sung, Stephen. It was indeed. It's a lovely song, and it was very well sung. Oh, Kasia Martinkowska gets straight in there with 3 rounds of applause as well.
She did, yeah. Okay, have you got another one?
Yeah, I'm gonna give us a taste of a dead horse. I wonder what that would taste like.
Nasty.
Well, Iceland would probably disagree. But the dead horse. Now, this is a song which has.
Hang on, in case we get anyone watching from Iceland, you mean the shop, don't you?
Yeah, although I believe that's long in the past. So if there's any liturgy to be had, keep it away from our door. And anyway, there's a strong history associated with this song and a ceremonial purpose for it. I'm not going to go into the details of that because we have covered it in the past in our Shanty sessions. But just a very brief overview is that the Dead Horse is a song that would be sung as part of a ceremony when a sailor had earned their first full month's pay and had worked off the advance they would get for their tools and their clothes, their oils, skins, and all that kind of stuff that they would need before they set off. So somebody would have to fund that. And then this song would be sung when that debt had been paid off. As I said, it's called The Dead Horse. There's quite a few verses. They're very short verses. Please sing along and let us know that you're singing along at home because that makes it even more worthwhile for us. This is number 29 in our repertoire. And it goes like this. A poor old man came riding by, and we say so, and we know so. A poor old man came riding by, oh, poor old man. Says, I, old man, your horse will die, and we say so, and we know so. Oh, poor old man, your horse will die, oh, poor old man. If he don't, we'll ride him again, and we say so, and we know so. And I'll ride him until the Lord knows when, oh, poor old man. For 30 days I've ridden him, and we say so, and we know so. And when he dies, I'll tan his skin, oh, poor old man. Oh, now, poor horse, your time has come, and we say so, and we know so. Many a race we know you've won, oh poor old man. You have come a long, long way, and we say so, and we know so, for to be sold upon this day, oh poor old man. You are going now to say goodbye, and we say so, and we know so. Poor old horse, you're a-gonna die, oh poor old man. We'll use the hair of his tail to sew our sails, and we say so, and we know so, and the iron of his shoe to make deck nails, oh poor old man. We'll hoist him up to the foreyard arm, and we say so, and we know so, where he won't do sailors any harm, oh poor old man. We'll drop him down with a long, long roll, and we say so, and we know so, where the sharks will have his body and the devil take his soul, oh poor old man. And that is The Dead Horse.
Well, lovely, wonderful, and yeah, I'm just going to see if there's any comment. Actually, I mean, it's not for everyone, that song, is it? It's particularly.
It's an acquired.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, but Carly Franklin likes it. She's given us claps. Thank you, Carly. She's given Paul claps, I should say, not us. But thank you, Carly. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So I just want to come back to we're now on episode 18, which I guess, if my maths are correct, means we've done 17 of these so far. And it wasn't until somebody messaged us after last session to say, you guys with your group, have you got any albums? And we thought, do you know what, we should really have been like sharing links for these. So we do have an album, our own group, the Rogue Shanty Boys, which is not the Rogue Shanty Chorus. The Rogue Shanty Chorus do have an album. It's just not on iTunes, but you can buy a physical good old-fashioned CD if you wanted to. But we're just going to mention this one from the Rogue Shanty Boys, our own group. It's called Above Board, and it came out beginning of last year. It's available on iTunes, $7.99, and we've shared the link in the thread here. So I know some people get in touch and say, oh, can you send us the link for the donation thing again? Well, if you wanted to get something for your donation aside from this, you could actually download an album. So if you would like to do that, you'd be very welcome to, and we certainly would be very grateful. Yeah.
Yes, we would. Stephen, you've got another song for us?
Yeah, I have. Now, I'm actually going to. It's generally thought that that Drunken Sailor is one of the oldest shanties in the world, and I guess that's probably based on how kind of exclusively popular it is. But it's not. It's not. We've actually found one now. It's a song called "Haul the Bowline," actually pronounced Bowlin, and yeah, we actually found it in this book by William Main Dorflinger, notable and very, very respected song archivist, collector, folk song singer, no longer with us, and ethnomusicologist, and he actually notes this as the oldest sea shanty in the world. He actually says of this, its unusual antiquity is shown by the fact that not since the 16th or early 17th century has the term bowlin been used for any rope on which a shanty would be sung. It makes the statement even stronger. Haul on the Bowlin is probably the oldest song we know from sea. It's not been an important rope since about 1500. Staysails were put in use to hold a ship on a wind. Before that day, the bowline was doubtless of stout cordage to haul the weather, and they talked then about the actual use of the rope. But there was a historian, a guy called Linscott, and he claims, although he didn't cite a source, that this song is said to have been a favourite of Henry VIII. And there's another historian called Shea who reports the same, again without a source. So this is a song called "Haul on the Bowlin," and we also, if I can find it, it's also we get a slight snippet of it in this book here, "A Sailor's Garland" by John Masefield. But we also have Stan Hugel attesting to the fact that that it's a very old song. Obviously English, not American, because it predates America. But Stan Hugel, and we talk a lot about Stan Hugel, I guess, I guess we assume that people know who he was. Certainly, I think in terms of sea shanty or maritime music song collectors, Dorflinger for America, maybe Alan Lomax, were the most popular and collected the most and did the most work around making sure that these survived. But Hugel absolutely is seen as the British kind of, he was the last authentic sea shanty or shanty man aboard a ship. A very beguiling performer and a great storyteller, very, very passionate about making sure these songs were collected and recorded and archived and reused, importantly. But if you don't know who Stan Hugel is, you probably hear us talking about him a lot. So I guess, a little introduction to him. He was actually born in Cheshire, early part of the 20th century, Welsh through and through. He died in Aberystwyth, and he was actually a fluent in many languages, including Japanese, Spanish, and several Eastern languages. And he was also quite a talented painter of nautical kind of scenes, and he served as a shantyman, as we said. He actually sailed all over the world, and he went on to publish a lot of books, which are really considered or actually used openly as the term the Shantyman's Bible. And we had a wonderful encounter with a very close friend of his, a guy called Jack Major, who we're still in touch with. I email occasionally. In fact, I emailed him a couple of weeks ago, and he's been in a little bit of a pickle with the current COVID conditions, but he's doing okay. And he's of a great age. And we met Jack Major at the Shrewsbury Folk Festival when we were performing there, and he brought some wonderful memorabilia of his experience sailing with Stan Hugel, and asked if we would consider giving it a home, which of course we would, and we did. And so anyway, I'm rambling a little bit, but that is Stan Hugel. And if you hear us talking about him a lot, and we assume that you know, but you don't know, well, now you do.
Before you start that song, Stephen, called Hall on the Bowline, just a couple of comments. One from Linda Boyce. Love Monday and Tuesday evenings. Thank you. Well, thank you very much, Linda. Lovely to have you on board. Also, Chris Collins. Great music, great songs, and great company. That is very, very kind of you to say that. And I guess we should just mention the reason that this all started was to keep in touch with our wonderful group of singers called the Rogue Shanty Chorus. As you can see, a picture of them there. This was taken during one of our performances called A Shoddy Night In. Not many of you are that local to Lowestoft, but if you see the Rogue Shanty Chorus performing near you, please do come along and enjoy the performance. They'd love to see you because they're a great bunch of people. Sorry, Stephen, Hall on the Bowline.
Yeah, so I have to say, I mean, in terms of how accessible this melody, compared to many of our other ones, we generally sift through a lot of shanties and maritime music and pirate hymns, etc., to find something that's quite a catchy melody. This one, I would say, and who am I to say anyway, but I would say that it's not as accessible or memorable, but given the provenance of just how old it is, possibly from around 1509, as early as that, we wanted to add it to our repertoire. So this is our newest one. If you're a regular member of the Rogue Shanty Chorus, it's number 63, and we can email you a copy of the lyrics that we use. But anyway, I'm going to sing it. It's sung just as one chorus, repeated all the way through, with the shantyman singing line 1 and the crew singing line 2, or the doggerel, as it's often known, the doggerel, which is the return, the refrain. And you can hear the stress points in the way I sing it, if I sing it right. But anyway, this is Hall on the Bowline. Haul on the bowline, the long-tailed bowline, haul the bowline haul. Haul on the bowline, bully ships are rolling, haul the bowline haul. Haul on the bowline, kitty or my darling, haul the bowline haul. Haul on the bowline, kitty comes from Liverpool, haul the bowline haul. Haul on the bowline, the old man he is growling, haul the bowline haul. Haul on from the bowling, it's a far cry to payday. Haul the bowl in the bowling hole. So yeah, fairly simple, fairly brief, and to the point, as they would have been. I assume that would have been a short drag shanty. So something needed doing quick. It wouldn't have taken too long. Generally, with short drag shanties, the tempo would have been considerably faster than that, but it wouldn't have been something that the men could achieve over a longer period of time. So with short drag shanties, they are either of a few verses or they are taken from a longer shanty, but they exclude several verses, and it might be that there is something happening that they need to react to very quickly and get some ropes or nets up, or sails or bowlines in this case.
So Sude said, enjoy tonight as usual. Thank you. Carly Franklin, can't wait till we can get to learn this. Marion Bouchette, 3 rounds of applause from her. Thank you very much, Marion, and great to have your company this evening as always. We're going to leave you unless you've got any more. I've got one more. Have you?
No, I think that's it for me. You
have, Head. The last one I'd like to sing for you is the Padstow Farewell, the farewell shanty. It's been a little while since we did this one, but it's very popular, especially among sailors' funerals. And we just like to end most of our sets with it because it's a lovely piece. The lyrics will be on the screen. Please feel free to join in. It is time to go now. Haul away your anchor. Haul away your anchor. 'Tis our sailing time. Get some sail upon her. Haul away your halyards. Haul away your halyards. 'Tis our sailing time. Set her on her course now. Haul away your foresheets. Haul away your foresheets. 'Tis our sailing time. Till the seas run under. Haul away down channel. Haul away down channel. On the evening tide. When my time is over, haul away for heaven, haul away for heaven. Lord, be at my side. Thank you very much, everyone. Good evening.
Well, do you know what? We aren't quite finished because, as Rosemary Bokit said, thank you for another enjoyable evening. But what was the word? Okay, so I'm going to do this as a little requiem or post show. And if you don't know what Rosemary meant, we feature this wonderful book, Suffolk Words and Phrases by Edward Moore, and we pick an historical word out of it on a weekly basis and try and get you guys to guess what it is. And this week the word was pytal, and from this wonderful book. And many of you were actually very, very close, or actually spot on. We could argue, I guess, that it needed a specific definition. But pytal is an odd-shaped field which caused problems that had not been encountered in the days before mechanization. Thus, over several years, fields were reorganized to be acceptably rectangular. This was cleverly and thoughtfully arranged, but inevitably there were remnants, leftovers, offcuts, or tailings. In most cases, these were small pieces of land, very small in some cases, which were essentially triangular in shape. The locals probably referred to these as pigtails. In Norfolk and Suffolk dialect, though, this would quickly become pronounced as pytal. In the 1920s through to the 40s, the word pytal was in fairly common usage, but has fallen into disuse in recent years. So there you go. I think actually you were pretty spot on, most of you, in trying to guess what it was. And we say thanks once again. And I think we're just going to go. So see you later.